This is HOADS Farm in East Sussex, UK, owned by the Potters family, Yorkshire Farmhouse Eggs. It is British Lion and RSPCA assured and supplies Asda, Sainsbury's, Morrisons and Tesco's in the southeast. These eggs are marketed as high welfare and free range. In the summer of 2019, Direct Action Everywhere began investigating HOADS Farm. On their website, they boast of their high welfare standards. HOADS Farm has always been at the forefront of the free-range poultry industry. Today we remain relatively unique in that we have never compromised our values, having only ever sold genuine free-range eggs. Free range has been branded to make us think of luscious hillsides, with hens enjoying the green grass and farmers caring for their every need. But as our investigation shows, these are meaningless lies designed to manipulate the consumer. We were not prepared for what we found inside. In the room where the eggs are processed, the floor was swimming with rotting egg fluids, and the equipment was encrusted with dirt and riddled with bacteria. Despite that, HOADS Farm boasts about having some of the most up-to-date production and packing facilities in the country. Inside, 32,000 hens were packed into multi-storey metal rows at a density of 13 hens per square metre. Though hatches in the wall gave a small gateway to the outside, the majority were so far away that they had likely never seen sunlight. When you buy our HOADS Farm free-range eggs, you can be guaranteed that not only have they been produced in the highest standards, but also the welfare and environmental conditions are far higher than required by law. These conditions are supposedly monitored under the RSPCA Freedom Food Scheme. 1. The freedom from hunger and thirst. The hens have access to food and water, however it was visibly filthy. 2. Freedom from discomfort. Many of the hens' cloacas, from which the eggs are laid, were visibly infected and raw from forced overproduction. HOADS has said that they collect their dead birds every day and dispose of them properly, but we visited many times over the months and saw the same bodies decomposing. 3. Freedom from fear and distress. The dead bodies will have caused distress for the hens living amongst their dead friends and family. At birth, male chicks are of no use as egg layers, so they are either gassed or ground up alive. Females never meet their mothers, and at 16 weeks arrive at HOADS Farm, where they spend their next 56 weeks as egg-laying machines. They are then sent to slaughter after spending their entire existence being exploited, as their bodies no longer function well enough to be profitable. Whether they are raised in cages or barns, free-range or organic, all 38 million UK hens have their lives taken at a fraction of their natural lifespan of up to 12 years. 4. Freedom from pain, injury and disease. In the disease-ridden conditions, many piles of dead birds were found in the walkways amongst the living hens. If they are free from disease, how did these birds die? It is clear that many hens were in pain, with their bleeding cloacas, clipped beaks and red exposed skin. The dead will have died in pain, with many obviously trapped in the racks dying from starvation. One day we found a hen huddled in the corner, motionless and shaking. She had blood all over her head, suggesting she had been violently hit or stamped on by someone. She was in clear pain and shock, and hadn't received any veterinary attention. 5. Freedom to express normal behaviour. These hens do not display natural behaviour. They are huddled inside cramped barns, pecking one another due to boredom and overcrowding, which leaves them with painful bald patches. On Twitter, HOADS Farm boasts that their daily routine is one most of us would envy. Up at 6 AM, they lay their eggs in the warm, quiet sanctuary of their nest boxes. Naturally, chickens would lay 12 to 20 eggs a year, but we have genetically manipulated them to produce over 300. This puts a massive strain on their bodies and causes them to suffer many deficiencies and even death. Naturally, hens will eat their own eggs to regain the nutrients they lost from laying them, but here they are stolen for human consumption. So, if this place is at the forefront of hen welfare, with every possible certification, imagine the other end of the spectrum. About 3 months ago, we found that depopulation had taken place since our last visit, an industry word for mass killing. The bodies that were left everywhere had been collected, and a new freezer to store them in had been added. The ammonia-filled air and filthy shed remains, with a new flock of 32,000 hens. These so-called freedoms do not mean anything in reality for these hens, because no matter what, they are being used and their bodies exploited for financial gain. There is no freedom in being a slave to producing eggs for humans. This is the egg industry. This is animal agriculture, where sentient beings are treated like objects. These hens have no freedom, and they never will unless they are liberated from animal agriculture. This is not just about one farm, this is about every animal exploitation facility. It is about speciesism, the underlying concept of human supremacy that devalues the experiences, feelings, and relationships of other animals, merely because they are different from us. As long as we are using animals as products, they will be treated as nothing more than objects. We must not only boycott these industries, but also take a stand against them. We must denormalize speciesism and speak out whenever we see it. We must be allies to every animal, both human and non-human, facing oppression around the world. This is why we have taken action at HOADS Farm, and we hope you will join us in boycotting speciesism and fighting for animal liberation.